blessing our pastors on this day. Thank you for having a happy birthday situation going on as well. Thank you for blessing those that we pray for and covering what we say we pray. Our lesson today, we finished the book of Joshua, but Judges is basically an extension of the book of Joshua. Judges is people that had to be raised up to bring these children, these hard-headed children, back into the fold again. Our lesson is called Ehud Frees Israel. Now, after just reading about Joshua, I was trying to figure out why would Israel need to be free?
Every time we get a little freedom slack, we don't know how to act. We need discipline.
Discipline.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sin makes discipline.
Discipline. We look at what Joshua was doing. We see what Moses had done when God had brought the children of Israel out of Egypt, and then they went into the wilderness, and they had to stay there 40 years because of all the mumbling and grumbling, not following, being disobedient, complaining. Once God got them to the point where he was able to go into the promised land, Moses couldn't go because of what transpired in the wilderness. So now Joshua takes over. So Joshua comes in, God tells him, I'm going to do the same thing to you. Let you lead the people just like Moses led the people. And I'm going to talk to you. Remember, he only talked to probably 2 or 3 people in the Bible. You know he talked to Paul because he got struck down on the road to Damascus. He talked to Joshua, and he talked to Moses, talked to Elijah. He talked to quite a few people. Anyway, those were certain people he talked to, and he talked to them directly. Everyone else was going to be through what? Dreams and visions. Well, the children of Israel were walking circumspect with God for a while, but then when the leadership started dying off, the old leadership started dying off, they stopped doing what thus said the Lord. We have a situation today where people have stopped doing thus said the Lord. And that's why we have conditions that we're in today. We have children out of control. We have a government out of control. We have nations rising up against nations and what have you. Because everybody stopped doing thus said the Lord and started relying on what? Their own philosophies, their own ideologies. It's okay to do these things. If a million people is doing it, it must be okay now. That's what they started doing. Started listening. They stopped listening to the word of God. Judges, our lesson is going to be coming from Judges chapter 3, verses 15 and 25, and then verses 29 and 30. Now go to the text read, when the children of Israel cried unto the Lord raised them up a deliverer, Ehud, the son of Gera, a Benjamite. And like I said earlier, why was it necessary for God to send a deliverer? Because you started doing things wrong again. Our parents tells us what we should and shouldn't do as they're raising us up. But as people get older, they start want to differentiate. What was going on. I'm not going to raise my child
like that,
like my parents raised me. I'm going to do time out. I'm not going to hit him, I'm going to talk to him. I'm going to tell him, not to do this, and it's going to be okay. So you got to talk to them, got to communicate with them. I'm going to let them make decisions at 8 to 12 years old on what they want to do and who they want to be. And now you see what we have. And that's what I'm saying when I say that. How do a child get to determine
what sex they are?
What sex they're going to be? How does it do? I thought God was the creator.
One thing I was thinking about when you were doing your intro is that we're so busy trying to modernize God. And we want to say what God would say today. But if God is immutable and he never changes, how are we going to say how he would have modernized his thoughts, his plan to fit us today. How can any of us say that? If he never changes, he never changes.
That is
We're the ones that change.
Yes.
Parenting changes from generation to generation. And our children and our children's children, to us right now, is gonna wax worse and worse because they're gonna keep trying to modernize and change what God has already set in place.
I love the term modernize.
Yeah,
That's
that's
exactly what
good
it
word.
is.
Yes.
That's exactly what it is. And remember when we read the lesson before, when what was his Lazarus, when he talked to Abraham, trying to let somebody go back and talk to his brothers about their deeds, and he said the law.
Yeah, if you haven't done, listen to them.
That's right. That was put in place from Adam.
Yeah, up to now.
Up to now. And it's the same thing. It's the same law from Adam up to now that we're supposed to be following. Real.
You know, this whole thing, it reminds me of a word that we use all the time now, and then it messes us up in society now. We always hollering about we got rights. Okay? You got rights. You only got the right that God gave you. He created you. Okay? Now you're gonna take the creator and the creation gonna tell him what he can't do.
That's scripture.
Okay, and that's how we are now. We tell our parents what they can't do. We tell our job what they can't do because we got rights. The thing about rights is that rights are made by man here on earth, and they change like the blow of the wind.
Yes.
Okay, what's right this season ain't right next season.
Right.
Okay, and so we need to get rid of that word. And a young person will tell you that all the time. I got rights. They tell people, I got rights. I got rights. Black lives matter. White lives matter. Asian lives matter. We got rights. We got rights. You got a right.
But you also got a wrong.
Yes.
We don't hear that one.
And you got a right to be disciplined.
Exactly. That's what's supposed to happen. God had no problem chastising and disciplining his children.
Right.
And not only that, when God disciplined to death, he'll say, wipe them all out. Don't leave nobody. They gonna be disobedient. I'm gonna show them their rights. Get rid of them all. Every last one of them. And we'll start over from scratch.
Yeah. Remember he said, I'll make the rocks cry.
Yeah.
He said, I can make the rocks cry. You ain't gonna worship me. I ain't worried about it.
Right.
See, I created everything.
Right.
I can make everything that I created come worship me, you know. But he giving us an opportunity, see?
Yeah.
He giving us a right. He's giving us a choice, you know.
Right.
We choose just like the children of Israel right here. They start choosing to do everything contrary to what God said to do. This is why they kept going back into captivity.
Yeah. Judgment.
What Rev said was true, you know, that all these things that come about is based on, you know, the fact that we think I got it right. What Pastor Steve said, you know, we come modernizing. This is what God would mean now, you know. This is what this is okay now. But if he's destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah for the same things that's going on now,
like that.
you know,
Right.
he said, I'm a just God. Right. What was evil then is still evil now. What was good then is still good now.
Right.
He won't change.
Yeah.
He won't change. He ain't no man. He
lie.
won't change.
Yeah, he don't lie.
All right, so I hope we got a foundation. So our lesson is called Ehud frees the Israelites, and that's because they went back into captivity.
Yes.
They stopped doing what they were supposed to do.
Yeah.
And you wonder why did this happen? Well, Joshua died, and the elders that was with Joshua died. So the generations that was under them started incorporating the things that were around them.
Yeah.
Remember, just like you said earlier, he said, I don't want you socializing with them people.
Right.
And like Real said, basically they were supposed to kill them.
Yeah. Yeah.
When they took over the land, they were supposed to kill them.
Wipe them
But
all
they
out.
didn't. Go ahead.
Then I was saying, and that's why it's important that God said that everything from generation to generation. What we learned in our generation, it's imperative that we pass it down to our children, Because if it stops with us, our children won't have nothing to pass
No hope.
on.
No hope. Yeah.
And they'll be lost because they have no foundation.
Mhm.
We didn't pass it down.
We stopped passing it down.
Yeah.
And then when you went into the church where it's supposed to be strong, you watered it down.
Mm-hmm.
You start watering it down. You start allowing, oh, it's okay for this person to come in and be that. It's okay for the parents to say. It's okay for this. Long as they in the church house is what they see. You know?
And it's really all about what you see. Because I bet you off camera,
Oh, yeah.
things ain't going so well.
It's not. It's not. But you see, it's the facade.
Yeah.
You know, it's the fake. Like Rev always say, you can fool people, you can't fool God. Like we say, you could
Sometimes.
you can hide behind a piece of paper.
Kind of thing.
God looking still looking at you.
Right.
You know, you will be seen. So let's get now. So Israel went back into captivity based on the fact that they stopped doing thus said the Lord. They wanted to worship Baal, they wanted to worship Ashtar. They wanted to do everything but worship God.
Right.
That means they weren't living a righteous life.
They will not live in a righteous life. Remember, during this time, God said, I'm taking care of you.
Right.
Your enemies won't even be able to come to
It
you.
was peace in the land.
It was peace. You know, they were covered, and their enemies knew who God was.
Yes. Yes.
They wouldn't come up against them if they knew God was there. But somehow they learned, okay, well, this is what God did. He said, okay, but since you want to keep these people alive and you want to stop doing what I'm going to do, I'm going to let those be your downfall.
Yeah. They gonna capture you.
They're going to capture you. And you're going to see how wonderful it is to serve under them
Yes.
as opposed to being under me.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is what we
The
sometimes we do to our children. You know, we're like,
Yeah.
all right, well, you go out there in the street then. Since you think the streets love you so much. Go out there and see what happens. Look at the prodigal
Beat 'em
son.
up,
We
beat
can come
'em
back
up,
to
beat
that.
'em up. Yeah.
Prodigal son, now I want to go out there. No, you're going to come back though.
Yeah.
Go ahead, have fun.
Yeah.
It won't be long because there's no love out there. Nobody trying to protect you. It's all about them.
Mm.
Could I have that real nice reader do 15 through 19? Oh, I guess she knows she's
Yes,
elected.
the only one in the room.
But when the children of Israel cried unto the Lord raised them up a deliverer, Ehud, the son of Gera, a Benjamite, a man left-handed. And by him, the children of Israel sent a present unto Eglon, the king of Moab. But Ehud made him a dagger, which had 2 edges of a cubit length, and he did gird it under his raiment upon his right thigh. And he brought the present unto Eglon, king of Moab, and Eglon was a very fat man. And when he had made an end to offer the present, he sent away the people that bear the present. But he himself turned again from the quarries that were by Gilgal and said, I have a secret errand unto thee, O king, who said, keep silence. And all that stood by him went out from him.
Set the scene up.
Scene is already set.
Yeah.
It says, but when the children of Israel what?
Cried out.
Cried out.
Like
So
Egypt. Yeah.
even when they're doing wrong, God's still listening.
Yes.
He's still watching. Remember, like I said, just like the prodigal son, he said, you're going to return.
Yeah.
Yeah, God, it ain't that I don't love you.
Right.
You just don't realize how much
You
I
just
love
don't love me. Yeah.
you. You don't realize how much I love you. See, I wouldn't have put up with this, but I'm going to do something so you can understand that the world does not love you like I love you. That's how our parents would tell us, you know.
Yeah.
Why do you think they discipline us and stop us from doing certain things? Why is it you think it's certain people they don't want you to be around?
Right.
You know, why is it that we knew that our grandparents and our parents had this what you call it, this when you could sense something? Not premonition. The one we use for church.
Intuition.
The one we use for church. Thank you. Discernment.
The discernment, yeah.
They have a discernment. They can sense the trouble that you're about to get into
My God.
before you get into it. God could sense the trouble that was around them before they got into it.
Yes.
You know? Because you know, if you stop praising God, something's gonna have to replace it, right? Something's gonna have to replace that. If you stop praying to God, something's gonna replace
You
that.
gonna pray to something.
Yeah. If you stop disciplining your children, something's gonna replace that. If you stop being disciplined yourself, something's gonna replace that.
Yes. Yeah.
You stop praying to God.
Disorder.
You stop worshiping Him. You stop giving Him thanks. You stop saying this is all His work. All the good things that's happening. You stop doing that, you replace it with something.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
Your own belief, your own understanding,
Yes.
your own desires.
Yes.
That comes into play. And then you go into basically a captivity. And then with the captivity that we go into is that spiritual captivity.
Yes. Yes.
That's the captivity we go into. That's spiritual captivity. Because now we are working under the unction of Mr. Beelzebub.
Right.
The devil. So here the children cried out to the Lord. Now, this is just one of the deliverers.
Right.
There were many more before this.
Right.
You know? So he bring them out, they go back in. He bring them out, they go back in. You know?
That's the cycle.
It's a cycle, a vicious cycle. And you wonder, how come they don't understand? Or is it that they don't understand?
It happens with us.
Yes,
He
that's
delivers us out of stuff,
Yes.
we go back in.
Go back
He
in.
delivers us out, we go back in.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, I'm gonna ask a question. Maybe one of y'all teachers can answer. But why did they make God make it necessary to state even in the Bible that Ehud was left-handed?
The purpose for it.
There's a purpose for it.
Put the weapon in on his right thigh.
Easier to get to, less movement.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, that's what we were talking about yesterday.
Right.
It's like you don't look too suspicious
Right.
in his movement because he's
Because if
left-handed.
he left-handed, he'd be
Yeah.
coming down here. Yeah.
You know, if
Pull
you're
the
right-handed,
draw.
it's like when you're right-handed, you're gonna shake somebody's hand, you're gonna do this way.
Right.
But if you're left-handed, you're not gonna use your left hand to shake hands with. So possibility that when he was getting ready to shake his hand, or when he met greeting him, he did this, you know?
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
it's a movement, but
Yeah.
it doesn't really stipulate what it is. But
Right.
the tribe Benjamin
Yes.
were known for left-handed people. You know, they had like over 700 left-handed warriors
Right.
that were there, like John Newton, left-handed warrior.
Lord, Benjamin.
And cried unto the Lord, raised them up a deliverer, Ehud the son of Gera, a Benjamite, a man left-handed. By him the children of Israel sent a present unto Moab, Eglon, the king of Moab. Now this was as she said, we read down, he's a very fat man.
Yeah.
He was greedy. So when you think about fat, you think about greediness, gluttonous, you know. You know, so and he was arrogant, you know, very arrogant, you know, because you come down to me, okay.
Bring me a present.
Yeah, and so that means you bowing down to me, you worshiping me, you know, I'm bigger than you, you know. So this is what this is about, you know. You're gonna bring your tributes to me.
Right.
All right. And I want someone of importance to bring.
Right.
Don't send just anybody to bring me no gold, no silver.
Right.
I want somebody of some stature.
Yeah.
None.
Royalty.
I want someone of stature. I want this to hurt you that you're doing this, you know. So that's why God raised up Ehud, because he's setting that role as a deliverer. That means he had some promise, you know. And when he came to him with the present, he had other people with him to help bring the present. There must have been a lot of stuff, might have been a lot of gold, silver, you know, frankincense. You know, no telling what it was.
Right.
You know, but it was a lot of it. And he brought it to him, and he had an audience with Mr. Eglon.
In his chamber barriers.
Yeah, we was in the chamber, and you know, everybody else was in there watching this exchange.
Right.
They said, but Ehud had made him a dagger which had 2 edges of a cubit, which it says in the book about 18 inches. That's pretty long.
Yeah, 18 inches.
That's pretty long. But remember who he's dealing with.
A big man.
He's a very fat man.
Yeah.
So he know he had to get through that.
Yeah.
You can't just get no little shank.
Right.
No little jailhouse.
Right.
He'd be like, man, what is you doing? Tipping stop. Yeah, he had to get him something with some girth to it.
Yeah.
So it could be able to penetrate.
Yeah.
Only one time.
One time.
Right.
Don't have one shot.
That's it. About 18, let's see, about cubic inches is what happened. And then, and when he had made an end to the offer of the present, he sent away the people that bear the present. So he was, after they gave him the present, they were leaving. Like it was stipulated. But he got to a certain point where he said, now
I got something else special for you.
he said, now I got to hash my plan.
Amen.
I want to make sure those that's with me are safe.
Right.
I let them get away safe. Because now I know the arrogance of this king, I could come back and it's gonna be me and him. See? He got a secret. Look. I want to tell that was something I told you.
Right.
See? Now, everybody want to hear, but if it's just for that, Helen, she'll be like, you got to tell me, okay, well, let's go over here.
Right.
You know, let's get away from them. You know, let's go over here. You got a secret to tell. Because that's how they go.
Right.
So, knowing this, go ahead.
Is that a case of everything we do should not be in the light? Everything, because the Bible says you shouldn't put everything you do for God in front of everybody. Some stuff should be kept secret between you and him.
Mm-hmm.
So everything that we do should not be public.
True that.
It should be behind.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Especially when you're doing it for others.
Oh, definitely that. There's no reason to go back and brag about what
Right.
you've
What
done
you did
for
for
somebody.
somebody else.
Yeah. Let them do it.
Right.
Because then it's not for them, it's for you.
It's for you, right? But if they decide to do it, it's all cool.
Right.
But if you're doing it, you know, people be like, oh, you did. Did you hear what he said? Or she said?
Right.
She said she did such and such and so forth. Why did she have to go tell everybody?
Right.
Or you stirring up controversial spirits too.
Oh,
You making people jealous by putting on blast what you can do when they really wanted to do it, couldn't do it, or they did it and nobody said anything. Now here you come with all your stuff out
Boasting.
there. Yeah, boasting, that's the word. You boasting with what you did.
Yeah.
Now you done stirred up dissension.
Yeah, and you're not doing yourself a favor either, because now you can't say that you can't do it. Now we seen you do it for
Right.
someone.
oh.
So now are you
being?
being selective in whom you're gonna do stuff for?
Right.
Mm,
Right.
You cannot no longer say I can't do it because we've seen you do it.
mm.
Jeez.
So that means we know that you have the resources, even if it ain't in your pocket at that moment. You got resources.
Yeah,
Took away the crutch.
look at this. And that's true. All of that, you know. Well, look at what you done built up
Right.
by what you've done, you know, by what you see, you know.
Yeah.
And so right here, we got a situation where we, like I said, this king was arrogant and gluttonous. So, you know, that whatever's going to transpire, you know, is going to be between me and whoever. So now I've shown I'm a king that likes to humiliate people.
Right.
All right, because I had you brought your most prominent person to bring me some gift. But Ehud was raised up by God to do a mission. Doesn't say how he was going to do it.
Right.
So God must have left it up to him. Because remember, if you look at the earlier verses, you'd be like, why would he make a dagger? Just a dagger. If he going to,
In that Pacific land.
yeah, to go to deal with somebody. Why would he make a dagger to go deal with the king? Two edge, and then why did he have to hide?
On the opposite side.
Yeah, why do you have to hide? You know, because if you're a warrior, your piece will be out. You know, you're a policeman, your gun is out. A detective, your gun is out. But if you're sneaky,
Right.
you hide.
Yeah. Secret agent.
You're a secret agent. See?
Yeah, everybody don't need to know.
So he was on a mission.
Right.
The ones that were with him didn't know he was on a mission because they were probably wondering why he's sending us away. You know, why are you sending us away? But don't worry about it, you know. Just go ahead on. I got something else I got to do. Deacon Mitch, give me the next from 20 to 25.
And he had had came unto him, and he was sitting in a summer parlor, which he had for himself alone. And he had said, I have a message from God unto thee. And he arose out of his seat, and he put forth his left hand and took the dagger from his right thigh and thrust it into his belly. And the handle also went in after the blade, and the fat closed upon the blade, so that he could not draw the dagger out of his belly, and the dirt or his guts came out. Then Ehud went forth through the porch and shut the door of the parlor upon him and locked them. When he was gone out, his servants came, and when they saw that, behold, the door of the parlor was locked, they said, surely he covered his feet in his summer chamber. And they tarried until they were ashamed, and behold, he opened not the door of the parlor. Therefore they took a key and opened them, and behold, the Lord, their Lord, was fallen down dead on the earth.
That was amazing.
Yes, yes. Mission complete.
I mean, it was the blade going in and the flat closed around it. But when it closed around it, it was still doing damage.
Yes,
It wasn't just
2 inches.
sitting in there because it said it closed, so there was still some action and movement around that blade. And it just kept cutting them up.
Jeez.
It was a 2-edged blade.
Yeah, and it just kept.
Just went in, all the way in.
Okay, so I know that wasn't.
And he probably, if he could have found it,
Yeah, yeah.
if he could have found it, had he pulled it out, he would have been
Yeah,
more damage.
even worse,
to
yeah.
himself. Because it was 2 inches, he would have just ripped everything.
Yeah. It's a 2-edged, like a 2-edged sword, get you
Right.
coming and going.
Yes, yes.
Coming and going. But here's another thing that was interesting. That's back. When he came back and told him that he had a message from God, what did he do? No, what did he do? What did Elon do? The king.
He stood up.
He stood up.
Yeah, because he was trying to get him.
Elon.
He was like, okay,
He wanted to
Yeah.
make sure,
okay, what is it?
Yeah.
What is
You
it?
see what I'm saying?
What is
He must have had some kind of respect for God, you know? Because he said, once he told him, he said, first of all, when he told him he had a secret, he sent everybody out.
Right.
You know?
He didn't worry about it.
He didn't want nobody to know his business. And apparently,
He arose.
Ehud knew that was going to be the situation.
Right, right.
You know, because he came back with the knife, and he knew this was the time for him to strike.
Right.
So he comes in, he said, I got a message for you. And he said,
Yeah.
okay, wait a minute. Like we said earlier, all y'all go.
Right, right. I meet y'all.
Yeah, y'all go outside for a minute. I got something I got to hear. He said, I got a message from God. He said, okay. He stood up.
The fat nigga
The
stood
fact, the king stood up.
Seriously.
Right,
he
right,
stood up.
right, right.
King stood up. And as he stood up,
Yeah,
that had to mean that he had got closer to him.
yeah,
You know?
yeah.
I don't know if it was for respect or whatever the
Right,
situation
right.
was, but this was
Yeah,
the
close enough,
opportunity.
yeah.
Because as soon as he stood up, he launched it in there.
Yeah,
And like you say, if he did it with some strength.
yeah,
Because it got what? It got lost in there.
yeah,
He
And
didn't
handle
know
too.
that had one shot.
He had one shot, a very fat man.
yeah.
So that means he had to thrust deep.
He knew where to go.
Yes.
And plus, if he was big as the Bible says he was, he had to go through some fat to get to the
Yeah,
right
there you
stuff.
go, to
So
get
that's
to the
why
vital
he
part.
had
Get
to
a
so hard.
2-edged sword.
Yeah. So he said it was 18 inches. You know, that's like a foot and a half almost,
Right.
you know? So he goes in there and he leaves it in there.
Right.
Not just the blade,
Right, he pushed the handle.
the whole handle.
Yeah.
Yes.
So he really thrust it down. You know, I got one shot, wham, all the way in. King didn't holler. He didn't holler because he probably was in shock or whatever, you know?
Right.
And then he just hit the floor. But it says as he did it,
Yes, that's the word.
everything started coming out.
The dirt.
The dirt started
Yeah,
coming
yeah,
out.
the dirt, yeah,
Oh, which means it had to be on Ehud.
yeah, awesome.
It had to be. There's no way it couldn't have been
Yeah,
because
they have blood.
it was something. It had to come out. It had to, but somehow he was able to get away.
And you know, the other thing too, that I was thinking about, I think we talked about it yesterday, is that automatically assume that it's something good.
There you go.
Right.
And so your ears are pricked. You ready to hear. You look at it excited because God can tell me something.
Yeah.
He ain't telling everybody else, he just telling me, it's just for me. And so you want to make sure that all that fat goes to the bottom. So you can hear, you don't want no hindrances. I want to hear what thus says the Lord. But really do we, because everything that we talk about, everything that the Lord is gonna tell you, whether it's prophecy or what Ehud had to do, it's not gonna be good. It's not gonna be positive. It could be a warning. It could be negative. So we have to, pay attention. The king probably thought it was something good.
Right.
So he was excited to hear what was going to be said. Message for me.
And look who he said it was from. It's from God.
Exactly.
Oh, God, talk to me.
Oh, you said, he was
He knew
You
about
better
God.
make me a
was
change.
fine.
You better make me another change. Come on.
But here's the thing. Your God want to talk to me.
Right.
Your God that you serve want to talk to me.
Right.
Must be doing something. I must be doing something. You know?
But he sure didn't see that coming.
No, he never see that coming because of his arrogance. You know, said, it been very, very big. That means everything was gluttonous. He was just, he was just a gluttonous person. So everything that's about him, it's about me. It's a good thing.
Right.
This is who I am. And that's what
That's
God
what
did.
he is.
He used it.
And he used that against
He used it against me because God knew his
his
God knew his action. God raises up. Remember, God raised up Pharaoh for the children of Israel to come out. He hardened his heart. We look at all these. If you read the chapters before this, it tells you about all the people that were around Israel at the time that he used against them. Because this is who y'all want to be like. Yeah. You want to be like them. Okay, well then this is who you go. This is going to be your downfall.
Yeah.
I'm not going to leave you all the way alone, but I'm going to leave you alone. I'm going to let you be like, I keep going back to him. I'm going to let you be like the prodigal son. Because you're going to come back. I never stop loving you. I never stop loving you. This is what God is telling us today. He never stopped loving us. Even with they doing what they're doing. He said, I've never stopped loving you. As long as you got an ounce of breath in your body, no matter what sin you do, you sincerely come to me and repent, you will be forgiven.
Yeah.
Now people be like, well, if he forgave this person, why he had to go to jail? Well, he still had to deal with the law.
Right.
You still under the law with that crime or sin that you commit. We still under that law.
Right.
But you're not under the law as far as God is concerned anymore, because now your soul is what you're living for. Is taken care of. All right. So I jumped ahead on something else. So now we're gonna finish this up. I'm gonna read these. In fact, no. You got your Bible?
Yeah.
Just read Judges 26 to 28.
Judges 26.
Yeah, Judges 3, 26 to 28.
26
to 28. Yeah.
And Ehud escaped while they tarried, and passed beyond the quarries, and escaped into Seraph. And it came to pass, when he was come, that he blew a trumpet in the mountain of Ephraim. And the children of Israel went down with him from the mount, and he before them. And he said unto them, follow after me, for the Lord hath delivered your enemies, the Moabites, unto your hand. And they went down after him, and took the fords of Jordan towards Moab, and suffered not a man to pass over. And they slew of Moab at that time about 10,000 men, all lusty and all men of valor, and there escaped not one man.
This is God saying, I got you.
Yeah.
This is God saying, you back with it. I got you.
Yeah.
Remember, I never want to lose you. I want you to get the understanding. But when it's all said and done, I got you.
Yeah. It's because of me.
It's because of me that you were able to slew the lusty, valor, strong men. over 10,000 of them,
Yeah,
and not lose one of your own.
I know.
It's because of me. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, I didn't read the last word.
Not having, no, I was holding on to that.
I read one answer.
Oh, that's good. That's good. And it's because, like I said, because of that is why it happened, you know.
Right.
So the plan was in effect all along. Now we know we wouldn't have saw this part coming. No one would have saw it. No one, in fact, no one saw the part where he was gonna go stab the king.
Right.
All right.
That's right.
But now, not only did he stab the king, once he had sent the men off, stab the king and escape, he had another plan.
Yeah, come and take a sip.
Now we're gonna take the city back. Now we're gonna gain our freedom. You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
It was all set up. And God said, this is why God said he raised up a deliverer.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
We might try to go in our community and get somebody and say, oh, this person's gonna lead us out of our problem. No, he ain't. You know? Just because he might say some good things, he might have done some good things, but did God send him? Did he do things according to God? You know? So yeah, we will try to raise somebody up, but no, it's not gonna work because it's got to be part of God's plan.
And remember, they had one before that.
Yeah.
That wasn't the one.
Right, that wasn't the one.
Okay, see, this ain't the one, y'all just wait for me, I'm coming.
Yeah.
I got you.
When God puts the plan into effect, it's very
It works.
effective because it works, because he set it up. That last verse says what?
So Moab was subdued that day under the hand of Israel, and the land had rest 80 years.
About 80 years.
80 years.
They rest, you know. But we
Until,
know the story. We know the story.
cycle.
It just keeps going on, you know. And today, we still a part of that cycle.
Right.
This generation is part of that cycle,
Yes,
you know, because they stopped doing what God said and started doing what man said.
till the revival comes.
Yeah, man says it's okay to do this, that, and the other, you know. And we start taking prayer out the church. But it's wrong. You can't just blame the school when you take prayer out. Because we're not supposed to take prayer out of our house.
Right.
When we send our children out and not go out ourselves, we're supposed to have prayer.
Yeah.
Just so go out
Just
there.
they got it in school.
Right, you ain't got to have it in school. I want you to say, look, you can do a silent prayer in school.
Right.
You know, because everybody that stand up and pray don't mean they on the same accord.
Right.
You know, some people do things routinely.
Yeah.
So
Pledge allegiance. Yeah.
Now, on that, there was a lot of people that was upset that they took prayers out of school. Well, I don't remember when I was in school that we prayed.
We did
I
the
don't know
pledge
if
of
you remember
allegiance.
that. We did the pledge of allegiance, but it was pledge of allegiance. It wasn't prayer.
I'm sorry, John. We out?
Mm-mm.
Oh, we out.
We are.
We out.
So, but all those people that was upset